Cooldown, let's go. So you need to wait for the first gate to get some cooldown. The first one is gonna give you 15 cooldown reduction, which is great. And when you get like buffs like this, minus 20%, that means you're super lucky, because that's the biggest buff. So we're going for the sword, blue sword build. And I'm gonna explain in a moment how does it work. Let's just see if this run is actually doable. If we see that we're not getting any blue buffs, we're gonna reset. But it's dropping something even though it's not cooldown. So let's be brave and continue. Let's see, oh my god, 4. That one is also good. So let's explain. Here, this number is the most important. You start with 12 seconds at the beginning with 0 cooldown reduction, and you can go down to 0 seconds. And when it gets down to 0 seconds, the whole fun starts. Until then, it's a struggle. The first loop is extremely hard with this build. Extremely hard. You can probably get away with other builds much easier with the first loop, but this one is hard. So the whole premise is always choosing this buff for the buffs for rolling. The sword, blue sword buff. First two are minus 30%. Later on it's something else you're gonna see. At the moment we're at 4.9 seconds, which puts us exactly under 5 seconds, which is minimum that I recommend before the first mini boss, first roll. So later on you'll see we already have like 16 swords and 10.5 damage, which is not bad, but at the moment cooldown is everything, so we will hope to get a lot of these cooldown reductions. So the next, for the first loop, the next best stat is damage. Keep re-rolling. Again, minus 30. Then this is looking okay for now. So 50. That was terrible. The worst thing you can get is actually health. That is literally useless. Frequency, by the way, is the arrow frequency is the best buff you can get for the arrow build. I might do, if I get 10 likes on this video, I might make a guide for the red arrow build. Again, now this is the reason why this build is so good. It's the sword speed. It's incredible. We're gonna see why later. The only build that has this. Distance is at the beginning garbage. I mean, it's okay, but for the first loop it sucks. I prefer cooldown, but it is what it is. So at the moment we're at 24 swords and 14 damage, which means we're shooting pretty much 400 damage per pop, which is not bad. We almost one-shot the enemies. Let's check. It's 1.9 seconds before the first dragon boss, which is not bad actually. It's actually pretty good. Let's find a sword again. Some frequency, which we don't need. Health, which we don't. I mean, we do need. Now we're getting to the drought part. Look, we're getting distance, which is something that we don't need at the moment. So it's a little bit sad at the moment that we're not getting anything. Good. Good, we got some 10% reduction, some count, some damage. Let's go for the damage with the arrows. Some cooldown again. We are down to 1.7 seconds, which is okay, I guess. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. We're gonna see later. Last two bosses, two mini bosses like here and here, are pretty tough. They have 5,000 health and more, so you need to either to stack your health or to get really good damage. So Again, sword, as always. This one is good, 20% actually, that one is life-saving, and another 10%. This actually looks promising. I don't want to jinx it. I hope I don't jinx it. We are at 1.1 seconds. I hope we can get a couple of health buffs, actually. Are we at 1? Yes, we're at 1 second cooldown. Go. Good. Distance. Distance sucks, as I said. Let's go for the health, because we will need every single possible help to get through this. We're not getting any cooldown at the moment, which is pretty bad. Another one, go, go, go. Good. %, okay. And there is another 5%. This might actually work. Almost there. Percentage, that's good. Go. Good. 10%, good. Health, that's perfect. Let's go, guy. You can see now why is this build so good, because I will explain to you in a moment. So when sword is traveling, when it hits the target, this actually triggers this cooldown. So it means the closer you are to your target, the faster you shoot your swords. Plus it comes into play this buff, which is that small 0.5 buff for your speed of your swords, which is crucial, because your swords can travel faster, which means they can actually shoot more often. We are almost there. You can see now how we with ease kill the enemy, the bosses, the hard bosses actually. Another percentage. We're golden now, because the last boss we don't actually have to hit, we just have to kill. And let's go. Usually with a little bit of patience, the first boss is not hard to kill. And it actually goes pretty fast with this build. You will see later on with the other bosses how easy it is to kill them. Okay, we are through the first loop, that's perfect. So, for the first 2 or maybe 3, I would recommend sword count. But also sword damage is fine, as long as you don't spend too much on these, because rerolling here is 20. So let's go for the sword count. Sword count, and keep stacking on the swords, and let's keep stacking on the cooldown. At the moment we're at 0.6 seconds. As soon as we hit 0, we don't have to pick up the cooldown anymore, and we can focus on another. Keep re-rolling for the sword. Ideally you will re-roll for every single sword, but then you will need probably 1500 for the beginning at least. I will probably skip a couple of them so I don't spend too much. So let's go. I will probably gonna speed up the whole process, but you can now see why is this build so good and why is it easy later on. If you reach this stage, you don't have to worry about anything anymore. For the next 10 loops until probably 20,000, you're not gonna have any issues, any at all. Right now, it's actually good. The okay, we're the second boss, and you can see how it is. He actually goes into the minus. Again, I'll go now for the sword damage because I don't want to reroll, and also you need to be careful with the sword count, sword damage. At the moment, we have almost 200 swords and 150 damage, which is how much? 30,000 per pop. It's a lot. Okay, we just reached 0 seconds cooldown. We needed almost 2.5 loops. Now we don't need this anymore. This is useless to us. Let's see now. Boss goes into 200,000 minus, which proves to you how strong this build is. Sword count. We can go for sword count. It's fine. We are at the moment at 466. From my experience with my computer, my performances around 3.5, 4,000, it starts lagging super bad. In your case, it might be even sooner. So be careful with this. And the third boss, or fourth, I don't even count anymore, is done. Sword damage. And the third, fourth, fifth boss, and it goes to minus almost 3 million. We're gonna go for sword damage. Be careful when choosing this, you're gonna miss. If you miss, the next loop is gonna get super hard. Let's keep playing, and then on 10,000 we're gonna check all of our stats and see how far are we. We are exactly in that 10,000 score. Let's check it out. Our distance is 41.5, whatever that means, which is, no, this is, sorry, this is the speed of our swords, which is insane, but it's gonna get better. The distance is 203. We're having almost 600 swords, and we're doing almost 1000 damage. That means it's almost 600,000 per pop, or 550,000 per pop, which is incredible. Let's keep on going. Let's go to see the last boss, the next boss. Minus almost 7,000. It's getting better and better. I'm gonna try to avoid this first time. I'm gonna reroll. Whatever. Let's go. We are at 1.2k. I'm not gonna be able to do that anymore because my laptop or my computer is gonna start lagging and it's not gonna be possible to play anymore. So let's keep it. Now we're gonna be forced to reroll if it comes to that again. Next boss. Minus 12 million. Sword damage, that's perfect. We are at 15,000. So let's see the stats. We have 2000 damage and 1.3k. So per pop we do like 2.6 million. 300 range and the speed is 60, which is incredible. Beside that we got all 3 updates for the armor, or however it is called, which means we have reduced damage. And soon when we pass 24,000 we'll start getting some health. Let's see this boss. Minus 20 million. Sword count we can afford. Sword count again we cannot afford. Sword count doesn't work. We have to keep re-rolling, re-rolling. Sword damage. Good. That's why this build is really bad, because look at this. We are down to like 200 extra just from that. Now I will have to avoid re-rolling all the time. Also I will have to start getting some health. In this case it was good. Let's see the boss. Oh, this one almost didn't go to the minus. Sword damage, perfect. We don't have to reroll. Now we will focus on getting health, because we're getting pretty low when they hit us. So not every single one of our rolls is gonna be the sword. I mean, I was already doing it, but now we need to focus more. Let's see the next boss. This one is gonna be actually harder. Maybe he's gonna be able to swing. Nope. He at least didn't go to mass. We have to reroll. Sword damage. Let's go. Let's check at 20 million. Sorry, at 20,000. We have 16,000 damage and 1.4k, which is some ridiculous number. I don't want to count it. You can count it yourself. We also have 1.2 billion health. We have 400 range, and we have 72 speed. Let's see this boss. Now this is the downside of having a lot of horizontal speed, because it's hard to position yourself between the projectiles. And again, the boss was not able to swing. We got from first attempt 4 damage, which is perfect, and let's keep going. Let's see this boss. This one is gonna last a little bit longer, but he has a ton of damage, but it shouldn't be a problem. We have enough help. So he's able to swing once actually. Sword, we need to reroll now. Sword count, sword damage, good. Now I'm not gonna slow down. This round might be the last one, because it's getting crazy from now on. So we will actually watch the normal speed, everything. As you can see, we're still able to kill the enemies, even though at most of the other builds, I don't think any other build can at this point kill anyone. We're still killing them pretty easy actually. So let's see how far can we get. Can we get to 25,000? Now the focus is only health, because these guys do a lot of damage. They actually do 0.3 billion per pop. So let's keep going. Whenever we see health, we're gonna grab health. We don't care about anything else. That is the most important thing for us right now. And by dodging, you need to do it like this. That's why the horizontal speed is so important. We don't need this anymore, just health. We're at 10 billion health at the moment, which is pretty decent. But again, if we don't dodge, we're gonna die within a couple of seconds. Okay, actually the dragons are the easiest ones because it's easy to dodge them. Even though they have more health, but this build actually kills. The closer you are to the enemy, the faster you kill them. And always have to be moving, because they start popping from far away. Let's see, how far away can we get? As you can see, the normal enemies now have 1 billion, which is incredible. We are at 24,000. My best score was 25,000, but I didn't have any more coins. I was actually out of coins for the last 6-7 thousands. Now I came better prepared, so I still have enough coins to reroll. and to get some help. If you don't start with enough coins, you're not gonna be able to go so far. Maybe someone can actually start with more coins and then go even further. Let's go for the health. It's getting pretty crazy. Actually, we're still able to kill the enemies, which is incredible in my opinion. But now we are dependent on getting the health or we're gonna die. Sometimes these swords can get a little bit buggy, they don't deal as much damage as they should. Now we're gonna have to start to dodge them a little bit. They're getting too strong. Okay, we're the boss number, who knows what, which one? No one knows, or... But after this one we're gonna check our stats and see how is it going. It's pretty hard to position yourself at the moment because of the so much horizontal damage, horizontal speed. He was able to swing 3 times actually. Sword count we cannot afford. Sword count we cannot afford. Sword damage, good. We are at 25,000. Let's see. We have 130,000 damage and 1,500 swords, which is 130, 1.3, 1,330, and then another 70 or 65. It's like 200 million per pop we do. Let's keep going and see what happens. New record for me. Understand why I'm losing the health even though I took... I don't get it now. Is it like getting away from my health? Maybe after 25,000. I never saw it actually. Let's see. Plus, minus. Okay. So it's actually, there is a chance of now actually losing health. Okay, I did not know that. That's bad. That's pretty bad actually. So let's not risk it. But I think this is it. Oh, we died. 25,700. I actually saw someone doing 27,000. But that's what it is.